Hey guys, James from Fairclough Studios here. Today we're going to compare the Lowepro Protactic 450 AW with the new version, the Protactic 450 version 2. Now we've ended up owning both of these bags and we're trying to decide which one to keep. If you're new to the channel, we are wedding and commercial filmmakers and photographers, so we need something which fits a lot of kit in but isn't too heavy, something which is flexible, allows us to adapt our kit from photography to videography and back. So first up, let's have a look at the bag that we already owned, the version 1. Now the Protactic 450s are the biggest of the Protactic series. They're designed to fit a lot of kit in and they've got some really cool features which lets you kind of use them really flexibly for a lot of different scenarios, and we're going to go through some of the features and how they differ in the version 2 and if it's worthwhile upgrading. Yeah, what's included in the version 1? So we've got the main bag, and as you can see we've had the tripod straps attached and the bottom part where the tripod legs fit in here. This is super useful, especially if you're traveling around, if you're hiking with a tripod. You can see all over the bags there's this mole webbing which all the accessories clip onto, so you can attach it here, you can attach it on the side, on this part here, you can use these bits down here, you can put it on this side, and that's really useful because of all the access points which we'll go through in a bit. There's also a water bottle holder which again attaches via the mole attachments, so you can keep a water bottle away from your water sensitive camera equipment. And there is also a detachable belt, so if you've got kind of a full load and you've got all your camera gear with you, tripod, water bottles, stuff on the outside, this will help to kind of spread the load across your hips. But if you want to be a bit more discreet, like if you're in a city or traveling or you need to be able to take it on and off really quickly, you can take this off. It's just velcros in and pulls out. In terms of the inside, I'll just show you guys the interior. The good thing about these bags is they open from the back, so the opening is against your back, so no one can kind of open the outside of your bag and steal stuff if you're out and about. Yeah, so this is what the inside of the bag looks like. You get a good amount of dividers, there's loads of flexibility, you get these big ones which run the entire width of the bag, and you also get these little ones so you can subdivide out how you want. They're all kind of the rip and stick stuff. The entire lining of the bag is also the Velcro material, so there's literally no limit to what you can do with these dividers. There's also enough room in this part for a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and then you get 3 useful pockets that you can see through as well. So if you've got thin accessories like filters, cables, little batteries, stuff like that, we use it for the spare propellers, for the drone as well, and the Polar Pro filter kits. You can see what you're doing and you know exactly where you're going to go, no rummaging around in bags with kind of sealed sections. The access points on the bags are very similar. So you've got the main flap which we've just seen, which is good for loading all your kit in and out, and if you're specifically on a shoot, then that's the access point that you'll use to kind of load in and out. There's also a top section here which independently opens, which if you section this off you can have like a camera and a lens in there just for easy access, but sometimes when we're hiking we section off the whole top part of it, and we use that bit for our waterproof coats, some food, extra bottles of water and things that we'll need access to whilst sectioning off kind of the camera kit in the bottom. You also get a pocket in the top there, which is again useful for just a spare battery, anything you might need to just grab while you're out and about. There's also these side pockets on both sides. This one comes with a key hook, which is useful. It's also the perfect size to fit like a GoPro or your mobile phone. This one's got a little bungy pocket in there so you can put some batteries in, SD cards, anything that you're just going to want quick access to. On both sides there's also access in here. We use this most often. We keep our drone in one side and the controller kit in the other. So without taking the bag off, you can easily swing the pack around to your front, get the stuff out without putting the drone on the ground. And here's the one on the other side. Again, with the water bottle holder there, it doesn't impede access to that at all. You can still kind of access everything. In terms of build quality, the Protactics have been pretty flawless, to be honest. They're all quality materials. All the dividers are good. It's been a great bag. It served us really well. It fits our entire mirrorless kit and gimbal and tripod and some lights and batteries and a drone and anything we could possibly want to take on a shoot out in the field. Yeah, they are absolutely great bags, but the reason why we decided to trial the Mark II version is because the depth this way is very slightly too short for our Mavic Air, and one of the advantages we've seen from other reviews of the Protactic 450 version 2 is that the Mavic Air will fit perfectly lengthways in the bag, and that'll save us a couple of slots, so it'll make our packing more efficient. So here I have the Mark II. So we'll go through kind of what's different, what's included, and first off, the first thing you notice is there seems to be a lot more included accessories. We've got pouches, we've got kind of this big exterior pocket pouch. You could fit loads of stuff in there. Could probably fit the drone or controllers or batteries or, again, anything that you need whilst you're traveling. There is an absolute ton of dividers, and you also get these orange dividers, which from the limited use we've had of the bag are really useful, because if you've got something like a drone controller or a specific lens that you need to know exactly where it is, if you just section it off in orange, you can see the orange in amongst the kind of sea of grey in there. This is the one we've got set up here. So I know that I can just grab the orange thing and I know exactly what it is. It also has a tiny little pocket in the top of here. I've got the extra landing gear, the extended landing gear for the Mavic Air in there, because that's quite small and fiddly and quite easily lost. You could also use it for like Lowepro filters, things like that. It only goes halfway down, so you don't have to kind of jab your fingers right down it to get what's in it. Again, we get the detachable belt. This is just to show you this when it's not attached to the bag. One thing I forgot to show you on the Mark I, but it's the same on this one. In the belt, you also get pockets. So these things are all about flexibility, storage, being able to take everything out with you. This one's really discreet as well. You could even keep like some cash in there or something, because that's not easily accessible. If that's done up and on you, that's right on your hip. No one's going to be stealing from that. And again, we've got the tripod straps. They've changed everything very slightly, and we'll go through that now. Overall, first impressions of the build quality, everything on the Mark II seems very slightly more refined and higher quality, and I wasn't really expecting that. I expected the design to be kind of a little more efficient, but in terms of materials, Lowepro are already kind of on top of the game as far as we're concerned for quality. So a few of the refinements that they've made, these dividers, the first thing that hit you, are a lot more substantial than the original ones. They've got a lot kind of tougher feeling fabric, and they're kind of stiffer. So you make stiffer formed pockets in it, so your gear's going nowhere. The slight disadvantage to that is if you've got it fully loaded with the dividers, it can make quite a rigid pack, but I don't know if it's because we've used the Mark I so much and it's softened up over time, but I'm hoping that this kind of softens up, because at the moment that is really rigid. And I mean, if you drop that, that's great because it means nothing's going to get damaged. But it makes it very slightly awkward to handle at the moment, but I'm really hoping that's going to kind of soften up over time. The laptop pouch is exactly the same size. You can still fit a 15-inch MacBook Pro, absolutely perfect. Instead of the three pockets here, we've got two now. One which goes the entire length, like a third, and then one which is 2/3. And the zips are very slightly nicer on these. You can still see through them, you can fit loads of stuff in there. Whether or not I like the one pocket instead of the two, I'm not entirely sure, but time will tell. In terms of the top bit, we've still got the pocket in the top. Again, the zip access is a little easier. They've got these kind of rubber tube type zips instead of the normal YKKs, but that's great. And another thing to note is this top bit here is now a proper hard shell top. So if it gets crushed, if you put it in an airline overhead bin and someone rams a suitcase into it, you know if you've got a camera in there for quick access, nothing's going to happen to it. Yeah, this is what I was saying before about how we have it for our hiking expeditions. So the top bit here, we can screw up our kind of North Face waterproof shells, shove those in there, a couple of bits of food, we've got the rest. So we've got, yeah, the drone here, we've got the controller kit here, we've got batteries, accessories, we've got a body with a lens in it, and a couple of extra lenses in here, and that makes a really good traveling kit. Again, we've got the side pockets up here, which are a lot bigger now, and I quite like that because, oh yeah, as you can see, still got the GoPro in there. That pocket is now so big I almost lost the GoPro in there. You can fit loads of kit in that. It doesn't have the elasticated internal pocket on that side anymore, but is that a massive loss over a bigger pocket? I'm not sure. And in this one, we still have the key hook. It's slightly shorter, but I don't suppose that matters. This pocket is also the perfect size to fit a passport in as well. So if you're traveling and you just need quick access to your tickets, money, passport, you've got it in the side pocket while you're at the airport, and then it's no problem. Again, the side access, these flaps are slightly bigger and the access is more extended. On the version 1 pack, it could be very slightly awkward to grab it from the kind of slung over your shoulder position. But these are great. They work really, really well. In terms of the outside fabrics, I'd say it's an even tougher version. The mole webbing seems very slightly thicker material. It's the only way I can describe it. But yeah, these are all bags that will last 10 years of hard use. So I don't think there's anything to worry about, but just an observation. I think it looks a little bit better being this kind of sleek design rather than the Mark 1. I don't know if you can see it. Is kind of split in two there. It makes it look a little bit kind of clunky, but I don't know. I still really like that bag. But yeah, this is a slightly more modern design. Right, so the pros and cons of the version 2 versus the version 1. I think they've pretty much, I was expecting kind of a little bit of an upgrade, but I wasn't expecting this much. But one last thing to mention on the kind of design and spec is the straps on the version 2 are a lot thicker and more padded than on the version 1. Now, it means that out of the box, the version 1 is slightly more comfortable and flexible to your shoulders. Out of the box, these version 2 ones were really quite stiff, and it felt a little bit like first day back at school. Kind of bit awkward, nothing quite fits right because of the amount of neoprene they used. But the more we use it, and this has, yeah, this looks brand new still, but we have taken it out about 10 or 12 times now. The more we use it, the more it kind of molds to us, and it is really breaking in nicely, but it is noticeably more comfortable after walking with it for an hour than the version 1. So yeah, overall I think the design has been improved enough to warrant what is essentially now an uplift in price over the version 1. I mean, the price is the same. They launched at around about £200 in the UK each. Now the version 1's been replaced by the version 2, you can get a deal on it. So if that's a consideration to you, I have no hesitation recommending this bag whatsoever. However, if you're starting kind of fresh, you've got the budget and you know you need a big bag which is going to accommodate all of your kit, laptop, accessories, travel accessories, kind of lifestyle bits, your phone, iPad in this part here, then I would recommend getting the 450 Mark II. For the kind of £60 extra you'll spend, it's going to last you 10 years. You've got to be really happy with it. And having had both in my hands, I was really undecided at first because I really loved the Mark I bag, but I do overall think the Mark II is worth the money and the extra over the Mark I. I think it's a fantastic bag. We'll be taking it out on a lot of adventures. I'm sure you'll see it on a lot more videos in our channel carrying our gear around. So this is our comparison between the Protactic AW Mark II 450 and the version 1. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It really helps us out making these videos for the channel. And we'll see you next time. Bye guys.